Hey there, it's Natalie with the Modern Stitchery. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is about making all the things, mostly on the fiber side with a little bit of painting and a little bit of reading and life, just general life updates. Okay, so really quick on the life updates. It's been a while since I've been here. I chopped my hair off. I usually do a chop off once a year. So it was that time. And let's see, we closed on our Denver house, which is fantastic. We have a contract on our current house. And if all goes to plan, we will be moved out of this house by the end of April, which means we will be living at my in-laws' place that's about 2 miles down the street, just for about a month. So hopefully it won't be too bad. It shouldn't be. It'll be fine. It'll be tight, but it'll be fine. And most importantly, it's free. So I'm very, very grateful that my in-laws have graciously offered us their place. They don't live there full time, so it's a place that they have to come visit all the family that they have here, and very grateful that they've offered that. So what else? Quick reading. I'll take 2 minutes. We listened to, it's been a while since I've done an audiobook, but we listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I got the whole family on it. I'd already read the first book. And so we listened to it on the way there, started the second book, and finished the second book on the way back. Excellent. The family's very much into it, very excited to start the third one. However, I hit the pause button on that because I got us to listen to Project Hail Mary. We all read the book a few years ago and absolutely loved it. It is one of my all-time favorite books, 6 stars. I think a lot of you are hearing about all the hype if you hadn't heard about it before. And for me, it definitely lives up to the hype. I'm very excited for the movie. So Project Hail Mary, we didn't finish it, but we're, I think, about a third of the way there now, and I want to finish it before watching the movie. Audiobook, highly recommend. It's excellent. I'm not usually an audiobook person, but this one, like Dungeon Crawler Carl, the narrator, does an excellent job. I did read also on the side Funny Story by Emily Henry, my first Emily Henry book. The first half, I loved it. I was giggling, kicking my feet. I thought it was great. And then the second half for me was just kind of a drag. It just kind of, maybe I wasn't in the right mind space, but for me, the ending, the last third half, I was just like, but overall, it was a good book. I'm definitely going to give another Emily Henry book a try. Depending how that one goes, I don't know if I'll pick up another one or not. We'll see. Okay, I think that's it on the book front, or reading front. I did have a finish, so I did not prepare for this recording. I recorded a while back before we left to Colorado, and the audio came out great. The visual, I looked like a robot. Okay, I didn't sound like a robot, but I looked like a robot. It just did not pan out for whatever reason. So, yeah. Anyways, I have not done much making. I did finish this that I'm about to show you, but I'll put all the things here. And this is the number 9 camisole by My Favorite Things Knitwear, I believe. Knit in a cotton merino blend by Knitting for Olive. I think the called for yarn was the silk, recycled silk, but this is or maybe not recycled silk, maybe it's just ethical silk. Either way. This one is the merino cotton blend. Love it. I have not tried it on yet. I don't know if anyone else has this, but when you put so much work into it, oops, sorry, doing over the mic thing. When you put so much work into something, I'm kind of scared to try it on. I started this 2 years ago. I had lots of time off in between, which is not good to do, especially with something with such a tight knit gauge, because your tension can kind of change over time. But yeah, overall, I love it. It is as tedious as they say it is, the constructive feedback online. Let me show you the part that I think most people, besides the tighter gauge, is this hem. Hem? Is that what you call it? So you have it in the collar and the armholes, and then you have another interesting one here. This one's sewn down a bit differently. My first time doing any kind of hemming like this. Love learning new things. The construction of this is definitely interesting, new to me, and I will definitely be knitting another one, not anytime soon. There's a bunch of other tanks that I'd like to knit first. But yeah, I highly recommend. You can definitely tell it's hand knit. I mean, I got some weird thing going on here, and I think when I tried fixing it, I made it worse. It's okay. And here's the inside. So if anyone, yeah, look at that. If anyone else has made this and you're like, oh, it's just not tight, it doesn't matter. It's on the inside. And look, messy too. Maybe for some this doesn't seem messy, but that's okay. Whatever. So, you know, we're not here to compare, but if it makes you feel better, there you go. Yeah, love it. I'm excited to wear this. It'll be interesting, you know, if this will be too warm because of the merino. I don't know, but it has, I think it's 50-50 cotton. Again, all the deets will be here. So I finished that. I haven't really done much else. With all the showings and everything, you have to kind of keep your house extra clean than normal. And it's really hard because I like to have all the things out when I'm making. But I will show you in a moment. I'll get it out and show you one of the things that I have been working on, like a little bitty project. For times like this, it's kind of perfect. And I had it all recorded before, so I'm going to be doing it again. Anyways, anything else on the making front? I don't think so. So I'll show you that stuff, and I think this is going to be a short one, and it may be a little while before I record again. I don't know. I'll even try and put up some pictures of, I think I took a clip or two of the drive, or maybe a photo. I think in New Mexico, I got a pretty decent picture of the mountains. It was so crazy. I tried to record some more. It was a lot going on, as I'm sure some of you can understand. And, but I will tell you, the sky there, for me, it feels so much bigger. So much bigger. It's also, I think, where we're located in the area. So because we're in a bit of a higher elevation, not just Colorado in general, but where our house is, it kind of sits atop, not top of a cliff or anything like that, but we are kind of more elevated, and the sky, and we're in a 1-story with a basement. Again, I may have mentioned basement's new to me, but the sky feels so much bigger. So much bigger. And so I am not typically a morning person. I'm like in the middle. If I have to get up early, I will, but I naturally don't get up really early. And I mean by like before 7 o'clock. That could, again, relative for anybody. But I was up when the sun was rising, and it was just glorious. It was beautiful. And it comes up, so the back of our house faces east and the front faces west. And the sun's definitely, like, when it comes out and there's no clouds, it's in your face for a couple hours in our house. Eventually we'll get blinds and all that. But in the meantime, I'm really enjoying it. It's just stunning. And I know there'll probably be some point, maybe where I'll get tired of it. I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm loving it. And the sun sets. So we don't have much of a view from the front of the house. But when we stepped out just to see it, the colors are it's just beautiful. And then we realized after the fact that where our house is they don't have a lot of street lights. And they do that for light pollution, which I think is amazing. So 1, you can hopefully see the stars easier. And 2, it actually helps with the wildlife in the area. So, which I think is really awesome. Anyways, okay, let me show you the little project I was working on. So I don't remember the original person who posted about this. If anyone happens to know, please let me know so I can give them credit. I started this years ago, and I don't remember. I saw it on Instagram and I loved it. It's these, and I'll show you a close-up of it. It's these little swatches for DMC, and I have it in this container that my mom got a set of 3 at TJ Maxx or something. And when she got them for something, and then it ended up not working out. And I said, Mom, I think this is going to fit perfectly with my little swatches. And it does. So I kind of work out of here. So I have my little snips. This is the Haya like rubber gripper, because sometimes I need help pushing the needle through. I have some empties here, and then I have swatches where I start with the DMC number, and then of course I need a lot of black, and I'll show you in a moment. But so what I start with is by cutting the plastic canvas. I don't remember what count it is. And then I do the numbers. So you can see here, the original creator, I think, used a single thread. I'm doubling it up. One, I can see it better, and two, it's just easier because I do the loop start method. So that's that. If anyone's interested, I'll give you the count, but if you are, I'm not going to go through all the work to do that if no one's interested, but I'd be happy to if you are. So then I have a number of these. So to prep, I do the number, and then I get the thread and wrap it. And I have a little stack of those. And then this is what it looks like finished. So I know I don't have the best nails. I'm not a nail person. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, so I do full crosses, and I think the original creator does 2. I do 3 threads. I like the bulkiness of it. And then I kind of stop at the halfway point-ish. I make just enough thread and then continue again. So what I was going to say about this is that when I'm making a cross stitch or embroidery project and I'm picking out my colors, if it calls for all the DMC colors, I pull the DMC colors. And if it is if I have the swatches for it, great. And if I don't, I make the swatches. So, and I, lay out the thread, have the swatches, and then the fabric. And then if I want to change things, and keep the colors in the same family, I use the swatches to help me find the colors in the other thread, whether it's dinky dyes or whatever other thread I'm using. Is it super practical? No, but it's adorable. I like looking at them. They remind me of the panettone. I'd have no idea how to pronounce that. Panettone. No, that's the Italian bread. But Pantone, whatever. Doesn't matter. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Like paint swatches is what it looks like. If I were to start over, I would probably make these a little bit bigger. But then again, they fit in this little container perfectly. But it's worked for the purpose that I want. Something to entertain me, a little something to do that's easy to take with me, carry around. I put a little rubber band over the case, and also it kind of helps me with the colors. And if it's too small, then I just get the original threads out. Anyways, it's just a little thing. But this has been great. I've made some decent progress because it's something easy to do and it doesn't make a big mess. But yeah, so I have a lot of the first colors, and then these are all the colors that I've used in projects that I'm like, oh, I need to see it, or if I have leftover thread from finishing a project. So eventually I'll work all my way through. No deadline. It's just something for fun, something cute and adorable. But yeah, that's that. I thought also I would show you one other project since I have some time that I was working on that's been kind of great for a time like this where I don't want to make a huge mess. Okay, so the other one that's been kind of easy to work on during this time period is English paper piecing. So this project this is my first time doing this. I'm making this for my Lowry lap stand. I'll show you a picture of what that looks like. And I have a frame, almost said Millennium Falcon, Star Wars. Again, I'll put the name of the frames that I have. I bought them years ago, but it's a wooden frame, and it's where I've done my memorabilias, and I've done another project. I was trying to remember. I was like, did I do more than one memorabilia? Yes, I've done 2 so far. And then there's another project I used on the frame. Anyways, what I've needed is I have covers for the scroll rod part themselves so that, your hands don't get on it or dust or whatever. But when I'm not stitching, I just kind of threw a pillowcase type thing over it. And, so cat hair and dust and things don't get on it because I like to leave it out. If I don't leave it out, I won't work on it for quite a while. So if it's something I want to actively work on, I like to leave it out. And anyways, I want to make a cover for it. I've seen some online and nothing has just, either I don't like the way it's made, the construction. Nothing about the quality. It's just the construction of it. I just want something easier and different. And of course, my style. And I love, may have mentioned this before, but I love the crossovers between the crafty things. So why not make my own? I think a lot of makers say that. And then sometimes we may regret it and then have the professional do it. It may end up that way. Who knows? But so English paper piecing, if you're not familiar, it's called that because you use these little papers. I don't have any spare ones on me right at the moment, but I put a hole in here so it's easier to take out. So you baste them, which is sewing down the border of the fabric. And then eventually you sew them together. And once you have the whole panel done, you can kind of start popping out the papers and the pieces that are completely surrounded when you're finished. I'm also planning on embroidering or cross-stitching some, like a panel to include in part of it. I haven't decided yet, but I figured let me just get the whole thing English paper pieced. I don't know how you would say that, but I'll show you the case that I have it here in just a second. But it's an easy, once you have everything kind of contained, it's kind of easy to, it just takes a little space until you get to the big stuff. But if you're just starting out, so you've probably seen these cases before. My mom, she gifted me this and the case to put it in. So I use the glue just to tack down the hexie onto the paper. And then, like I said, I sew based on, sorry for the glare. And then I have some snips in here. I have some sewing clips here to tack it down. And then this has a magnet for the needles. And then this is it has a metal pole that I have in here somewhere to put the thread. I use a really fine thread. It's a thread that I'm using for the first time. It is nylon. I'm pretty sure it's nylon or polyester or maybe a blend, but it's very fine and very slippery. But I really like it because it doesn't show as much. I was just using the regular white one and I could still see it. Let me show you. Put this down. Which is okay. I mean, if you see it, you see it, but see how you can kind of see it there. And so I did a little searching and someone mentioned to try the gray, and it would be funny, that was probably one of the gray ones. But anyways, it just seemed like the gray wasn't coming out as much. You couldn't see it as much. So, and really, I mean, you can kind of see, you see a little bit there. I don't know if that's white or gray. Kind of hard to tell. But anyways, fabric I love. You may recognize some of these. I don't remember if I've shown my project bags for stitching. And then I bought the color ones and this graffiti looking one from MX Domestic. He previously went by Mr. Domestic, but now it's MX. I don't know how to pronounce that. MX Domestic. They sell lots of fabric now and tools too for paper piecing and other sewing things. But their fabric options are really great. I love some of the palettes that they have. And of course, you know, the jewel tones are right up my alley. Anyways, so that's another project that I've made some decent progress on during this time, but I'm really itching to start something new. More, I think I've mentioned it last time on the, I kind of want to start something with squares, like crochet squares, like granny squares or knitted squares. I'm kind of itching for something like to make a blanket, another blanket. I know I have a lot of blankets, but where we're going, I'm going to need more, right? So anyways, I think that's about it. If not, I'm just going to keep blabbing and I don't need to be blabbing. Okay. Wish y'all well. See you next time, maybe in Colorado, but I plan to do some recording, hopefully. I don't want to make any promises. No promises. I don't like making promises I can't keep. But okay, I'm blabbing again. Y'all have a good one. Talk soon.